Disconnect this connector right here. Just push down on the tab and slide it out. There's the connector. You just push down on that. And there's a wire retainer further down. You want to take that off with the harness, and then another connector. You want to take that off as well. So I'm just going to use a trim tool. Slide that off. Then the connector further down. This goes to the compressor. You want to take that off. And that connector will just slide down. Just wiggle it back and forth a little bit. There's a little tab on the bottom. You can push on that little tab, and then this whole connector will slide off. You don't have to disconnect the connector from each other, but you just want to slide it off the fan shroud. And slide that harness out of the way. Take these two screws out. Use a 10mm socket. And grab the fan assembly. Slide it out. You just wiggle it. And carefully slide it out. Disconnect this connector right here. Just push down on the tab. And slide the connector off. And then you can disconnect the connector from this bracket. Just slide this little tab back. This will come off the bracket. Just like that. Now use a 10mm socket. Take this bolt out. And the bracket's going to come with the bolt. And there's another bolt over here. Take this bolt out. There is a clamp that's in the way just because of the way it's positioned. You can use a hose clamp pliers and just move the hose clamp. Be careful, you don't want to do this if the vehicle is hot, because there's going to be pressure in there. So I'm just going to move this. Underneath there's two 10mm bolts. You have to take those out. Use your 10mm socket. Take those two lower bolts out, and then you can slide the fan up and out of the way. And just carefully slide it out. And slide right up. It comes right out. And slide that under the hose. And then it's in place. I did pop this clip out for the transmission cooler hose, just so the fan shroud can go right in between the hose and the radiator. Now I can pop that clip back in. Give you a little bit of extra room. Now we'll get all the bolts started. I'll start with the ones underneath. And the 2 bolts up top, get those started. Once those are all started, then we'll tighten those down. And just snug them down. All right, that's tight. And you want to connect the connector. If you still have that bracket up here, you want to connect that, or this fan has the connector down here. So we'll plug that in right there. That's where the connector is, right there. So you want to plug that in, just like that. Now I'll take the fan housing and line it up down below. Get the brackets lined up, put the bolts in. Make sure you have it lined up down below, and then tighten these down. Just snug, not too tight. Now line the connectors up. I'm going to put the AC compressor onto that bracket, just the connector for the AC compressor, and lock that down. And then the connector for the fan, line that up and lock it in. And where that little wire retainer is, you want to slide that into the hole and lock it down.